Okay, I'm gonna call the order the West Ham Community Development and Community Advisory Committee on June 16th at 5:30 p.m. and meeting today at the Martin Luther King Park Community Center. Can you give a roll call, Mr. Brenda Brewer? Ma'am.
Yes, sir. Okay, if I call your name, just say here. Joe Robinson,
Here.
Carlos Ramirez,
Here.
Alan Barabee, Janice Williams,
Here.
Bobby Wilson,
Here.
Jeanette Fenton LaRussa, LaRussa Fenton, sorry. Cynthia Maloney,
Here.
There you go.
Delphine Jones,
Here.
Tina Young, and David Alonia. Chair Robinson, you have 7 members and you have a quorum.
Thank you, Ms. York. With that said, we now take the public comment about the agenda. Normally there are 3 minutes for anyone in the public that wants to speak. And so this is your time to speak. So if you have anything that you want to say, you have 3 minutes. And we have a mic for it. So if anyone in the audience that wants to speak, go on once. Go on twice. Okay, we'll move on from
Chair Robinson, we have.
Oh, Mike Randolph, can you hear us?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, real good.
Yes.
Real good. My go ahead, I got 3 minutes, man. Go ahead.
Okay, so can I get started?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that being said, Mr. Chairperson, West Tampa is entering a new era of community-driven economic growth. Our progress is powered by a unified cross-sector partnership. The related urban development group delivering high-quality, mixed-income housing, the Tampa Housing Authority, ensuring long-term affordability and community benefit, and the City of Tampa, allowing public investment, infrastructure, and policy. And finally, the West Tampa Community Development Corporation, leading community engagement, anti-displacement strategy, and technology-driven model. Together, we are proving that development is more than a building. It's economic, it's workforce, and it's community development working under one. At the center, this transformation plays itself in the Rome Yard Benefit Agreement, a binding agreement ensuring investment, opportunity, and long-term mobility flows to the people that was built for. Driving this promise is a technology, wealth building, and job creation center, a first of its kind innovation hub by residents and community. The center delivers an AI-powered career tool, making 45 people to tech jobs, entrepreneurship and small businesses support, financial empowerment, and wealth building program in the Web3. This model is unlike anything else in America. It begins with no money, no staff, and no office. Only residents who refuse to give up and get permission. Today, in that spirit, we've grown into a formal agreement that includes a full training center and a dedicated office being provided by the developer. And finally, by AI, we're cutting 85% of costs by using AI, giving this service directly to residents. And now, the resident-led approach is gaining national attention as a leading model for anti-displacement and community-driven displacement. Folks, we're on the national map now. People are looking at us and trying to figure out how can they do what we do. Thank you very much.
Very much, Mike. Detailed presentation as usual. Thank you so much. And just remember, everyone, we won't have a meeting in July, so it'll be August before I have the next meeting. Okay, with that said, has anyone had a chance to take a look at the May 19, 2026 meetings? No, if so, I'll entertain a motion for approval.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from May 19th with a correction. I have a correction. Is that?
Go ahead, Mrs. Hank.
Just that I was quoted as saying that that North Hyde Park needs a pocket park. I don't know if I said pocket park. And if I did say that, that's not what I meant. I meant the park. So
That's fine.
that's,
That's it.
I don't know, that's, maybe could be changed.
No problem.
Not sure. And other than that, I would, and then it's,
Okay, is there a second to the motion?
Second
Thank
Okay, I
you.
have a motion by Mr. Holman, second by Bobby Wilson. Is there any discussion?
discussion. In regards to the Freedom Park, I think, there was, conversation about holding a second public meeting. And, I just didn't know if you need the, minutes.
There will be, I know that, and why don't I just add that for clarity, okay?
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else, Mr. Wilson?
No.
Okay, anyone else going to have to change to the agenda, to your notes or meeting? If not, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimous. Moving on to presentations, we have tonight,
Okay.
proposed Tampa Police Quarterly Update, Captain David is he here?
Yes.
If he is, come
Okay.
on, introduce yourself, give him the microphone.
Here, can I help you? Okay.
Let me just,
I'm just careful with the wire, you know, that's why we want to give you
David,
a mic.
I can help.
no, you're
Pass
good.
out people. One for each, sure, okay.
It's actually,
Bring cities. Very stacked.
it may or may not
It's
be-
four, there's four of each. Okay. All right. It's a quarter.
it does.
Okay. I'll do it if you want me to. Mhm. Yeah. All these secretarial skills, right?
Parking is a premium.
Okay. What is that? Oh, sorry. Those.
But you
Oh.
do.
Oh, we keep doing, okay. Maybe I have to let me do it. More copy. Thank you.
Quarterly report, right?
Yeah, it's, quarterly, however, we haven't met since, January, so.
Exactly.
Early in the morning.
I
Yeah,
think we're
that's
good.
it's a little
think we're
meaty
good.
for.
Think so?
Yeah, we're good.
All right.
I can, not for the public.
No, you're good.
Okay.
So bear with me with the organization of this guy. Obviously, was, I had a chance to take it up, maybe it felt pretty for you, so. My name is Dave Markinson, I'm a captain of the Tampa Police Department. I'm over here in District One, which is in this area, of course. Second A, this forms the second A, I'm the second B captain. However, we're interchangeable, so certainly you'll help you guys up with the investigation. Andrew Hughes is your captain. She just come over last month. So she'll be with us, seeing you guys in the future. But you'll be either of us. So basically what we're looking at is, this first, perfect yellow line around it. Kind of shows the neighborhood. This is basically the footprint of this area in particular that was talking about. It consists of 964 acres, which sounds like a lot, but it's pretty big. It goes basically Columbus down to Philly and then leading east to the rim. There's a second page that kind of jumps it down. It's got a grid on the line. Starting with 114 and with 154. All this stuff is kind of duplicate the view fence. You'll see two pages that have colorful dots on it. That's kind of an indicator as to where some of the crime is occurring and the number of incidents in that area. Again, it's very, very brief, to just kind of gives you an idea. And the second page is the extension of that same map, just a lower. Yeah. Of course, you guys can take that with you and refer to it as you need to. To kind of simplify things, basically, we went ahead and had our analysts look at what we call big fives. At the department, big fives consist of auto thefts, auto burglaries, burglaries relates to a residential structure or a commercial building, aggravated assault and batteries, and robberies. So it's a total of 5. Those that basically they are our core crimes that we look at that are most concerning to us, that we spend on a weekly basis. We meet and discuss these particular 5 areas and monitor them throughout the year. We compare our stuff from this year to last year and so forth. So, of course, we look at other things as well, and no crime is less important than the other, but these 5 right here kind of important for stats. So since January up to today, we've experienced in this map, on this footprint, a total of 7 auto thefts. Of those 7, we've got 5 that are e-bikes. You see these electric bikes that go around these days. The FBI, when they collect their data, they classify an electric bicycle as equal to an auto, which is why you see a stack that says 7. In reality, we have 2 auto thefts plus 5 e-bikes. Not to say that they're not less important, but I don't like to kind of mix the two. In my mind, when we think of vehicle theft, I think actually true. Okay. But these 7 can include e-bikes. Auto burglaries, which is basically the same vehicle, but rather being stolen, being broken into. We're at 9. As far as burglaries to residences and businesses, we're a total of 8. Aggravated assaults and batteries is anything from being shot at, having a gun pointed at you, a knife pointed at you, being stabbed, throwing a cup like that at someone and hitting them. Could be taking that cup and hitting someone over the head, and being an aggravated assault or battery. So it's a very, very broad range of things. Anything can be used as a weapon, it can be classified as a weapon. So just depending on the circumstances of the report, it falls into that category.
About race.
Right.
Because I know we had I think you already somebody waiting for a lot.
Right.
I thought she really thought that, I was that
I have to look into, I'm not familiar with that.
already,
And then the rest of them.
I didn't know that about the first things.
Yeah. It did.
So is that included in the aggravator or is that like I said?
No, so that will be included in that number. Because it's such a specific crime, and anything like homicide, the very expensive executive crimes, are classified as a and to dismissal of their specific category. So
Is there any reason you don't want?
They just don't fall in this category. Yeah,
Well, I'm interested for that, and we're planning, bring this up.
sure.
And, it's on Middle Street, a big park. And, normally when we have a report from the police department, we take care of every crime, without any work out, there's no fight, but then I'm not have to drop away from them trying to say, oh, that's here, but we try to find out, have they done a solution, somebody call, they know who the perpetrator is, this and that. Because we had the same thing when we had gunfire on Main Street when they were shooting one side. Because of the fact that we had to put cameras on Main Street from the front, we had to let every camera on every intersection. On Main Street, all the way from the Mason National through, somebody came on. And so that camera did catch an accident there, but the result was closed. Right, and then I was shooting with me. So if they were able to use that, and we had a lot of businesses that have lost, like because of the gun time, shooting and all that. So that's one reason they, and then if it's not reported, it happened. That's the only reason I'm interested in going down in the future. We can have back in the day, the real stuff like CCTV, you know, that stuff.
I understand, but I'm telling you. In the city example, we do not have a murder problem, we have murders, but our numbers are increasingly lower each year.
Oh, I understand that, but we're just making one things that have to walk a mile.
No, I'm not dismissing.
No, but the community would like to know, because if we know that there was one, okay, because for example, you're like stabbed up here, wild back up on, in the New West River. And, it sort of didn't get reported. So what we do is the reason we want to hear it, so we may have some people in our meeting, or they may have some information that want to say something. It helps solve the complaints. So that's one reason, but we don't know if this, at this meeting, it's like, oh, we got like 9 neighborhood organizations that they, and like 2 at large people. And so, so whenever we do get a report, we want to hear whether it's, you know, murder, shooting, whatever it is. And especially on Main Street, so we have a couple of floods up there on Main and Manic. We have the 2106 vending room that, you know, if there's some incidents that turn out for some people, we have co-hacks up there. We got a lot of businesses, you know, people that just have a business by going to that office. And if there's some kind of weather or something going on around them, that kind of stuff that, you know, we try to keep an eye on. And it's so that your eyes and ears, so you know, but that's no big deal. It's just that I do know about that. But this is January to now.
Right.
And see, I know back at one up there, it's supposed to be on a basketball game went down, and then somebody had to go. That's what I just want to know. Was the update that they finally done?
So, off the top of my head, I don't have the answer.
Okay.
However, I think the answer. I'm familiar with that. I've never seen videos the kid got out of the car, shot over the roof, towards the basketball courts. I believe it was already over basketball.
Yeah, because they had started accumulating from Maine.
Yes.
And they said, hey, let's just go down to Great Park and play some ball and then back to just start again. So, but if there was a big crowd, man, one of the things we're trying to keep from happening in West Tampa, you'll see all this new development we got is having like these team takeovers. And we used to have a takeover before we called them takeovers or something. And they just would show up. Okay, we didn't call them takeover, we just say there's a whole bunch of people on man, you know. You know, they showed up. So now they got a name for it, but they went on team, they were grown folks who shaking over. So one of the things we're trying to do to reduce crime is we try to acquire vacant buildings that are not being utilized. I can't say that we tried to expand the possible requiring a liquor store.
It's on the board agenda for the steering board.
Requiring a liquor store, and what we try to do is to turn them into a profitable, to something the neighborhood can use. And we have funds, millions of dollars to do that. So if we see there's a trend, you know, like we got a Publix up here, and I know that, and then we had, for example, the tourist bank got robbed as soon as it opened up, it was robbed. But they didn't want to report it, but we know about it, the community didn't know about it. So whenever we have an officer coming out, I was asking to see if they really, we broke an answer. And so we keep up with that because, you know, we're trying to get people to invest, you know, put the money in the broken action. We're trying to get people to go to public, some of the public state has incidents, some kids. And it seems we got a little better because I looked out going to see what I need to do. And I always got an officer there. So we're trying to bring back the slum and blood and anger. It was trying to weigh down the shore because like, before we started this West River, we had all kinds of gun fights. Right? We had shooting, bullets, and dating. We had the largest drop program going on. We had $20 million drop going on in Friday night computers that night. Didn't they get all the those checks? And so we had all of that. We got away from that. And so now we're starting to see, we're starting to get, even, Mr. Wilson, I tell you, we're now putting lights in the office on Main Street for demonstration to try to help reduce the crime rate and also help the police department septic. I know you're familiar with that. So I just want to be there, but that's the only reason I was asked about, the series, like, that, and the future,
The series is, funny stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially as residents. You know what I'm saying? So I know that the lady got raped. We didn't know they got raped. They just come to our house and said, hey, did you see anybody? No. Well, we found this out later on. But, if somebody get raped, you can. Be even be more cautious. Hey, ladies, you got somebody running around, wait the elderly women or something. We got, just to make us aware that we're more conscious of what we're doing when I live on Union Street right behind the liquor store. I call Tampa police department, my neighbor called all the time about the loud music and stuff going on in the alleys and stuff, so.
well, let me back up. Normally we have a representative from chief, if you don't have to, you do tonight. Do you have a number that we can call you?
Yeah, I can certainly.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't mind giving it out, tracking it and. The cell phone, because like you're saying, you can't get 911 on that, these people that can call you direct. Okay, so I'm just saying that, because I know it's the first night here. And I appreciate you coming out, but we haven't had before, not long. But I'm gonna stop you, but if you don't have no questions,
I'll make sure to include murders, rapes.
yeah, but and then if okay, if you're not, if y'all have sports, okay, here we go. All right.
Let me just finish.
Okay.
We'll go to questions. But just this, again, this is just your big questions, these are your daily crimes that happen that steer the boat in one way or another. The murders and rapes are fortunately, not happening very often. They're as important, if not more important, but they're not, creating a trend, so to speak. So when we measure these stats kind of point us in the right direction, very need attention because, as far as, and again, these ag assaults and batteries do include the shootings as well. So, it's not that they're not all just a simple, someone hit somebody stick, somebody more shootings. It's just any shooting where someone doesn't die is going to be on this staff. Homicide, intentional homicide, goes to be subject. So there's over 50 offenses of those big five, if you add them up. Of which we've made arrests on 28 of those cases, so we sold 50% on that. Zone 5, which is on the back, it is basically encompassing 123, 124, and 139. That's where the majority of all these records that I've just spoken about. 30. So 123, 124, and 139. And then 17 of these offenses were domestic violence related. The reason I mention that is because a lot of these things are not, they're not spreading interactions. You're helping life what they're doing, and they're at home and they take one argument. Start drinking, start fighting, and a parasite gets thrown across the room. Hands are close to whatever necessary. But we do include that, but we also want to differentiate between stranger crime versus things that can be preventable at home, but we just kind of keep control on our own side. Just to mention, there was a prolific juvenile offender that was arrested for auto burglary back on April 27th. He's currently down on curfew from 8 o'clock till 7 in the morning, and he gets checked nightly by our officers.
You say prolific,
prolific juvenile offender. So juvenile offender is basically just consistently committing one of these offenses on a regular basis, and has become classified as a prolific offender. So it's not a one-off situation. This kid is out of jail. Whether it's auto burglaries, in this case, auto burglaries. So this is a kid that's certainly being arrested for the same crime. Juvenile folks who have been in an adult for it, they tend to treat the kids very well. So, we always seem to say and sometimes I treat him as an adult, but he's currently on house arrest with curfew So between 8 and 7 AM, he's supposed to be at home. He's not. Our officers will go out and check on these individuals, and if they're not, they'll basically violate the probation and be brought up in front of the court again, to see whether or not they're gonna change up how you're blocked. And then just to mention another guy, adult offender, his name is Landon Smith, he was arrested for auto burglary back in February. He was convicted and went from jail to prison in April this year. So just was just kind of example of some of these folks that are being held accountable. I think we've got one through this stuff. If you guys have any particular offense that you have a question about, certainly look into it. I do have a printout that gives me kind of a date and time, so to speak, and a location. If there's anything taken, like, what's this rating? A lot of times you guys, I mean, if we go to these, you go door to door asking for information, we're asking because it's apparently live, working the scene. Sometimes our investigation prohibits us from not being able to share too much information. We could be knocking on the door of that guy, so we can't really just knock on the door and say, hey, this is all that happened. You know, we don't really we're discussing it yet. So I know that in that case we are molesting. And that subject is obviously custody. And you know, she wasn't elderly for him. And that was something that if you arrest him the next day, and anytime when stuff like that happens, it's hang on, but that will also make, you know, anytime you meet so forth, and not to say that you only be watching the movie, sometimes you just can't share it because you like to share it. You can tell you this.
Sure. The loud music. You have to do my homes. And I made the song about the complaints about the black cars and the loud music. You know, and it's really disturbing the nation. I know there is like an ordinance for loud music. The one thing my neighbors on the phone, they said, oh, you know, we told them to turn it down, we can, you know, we leave, they turn it back up. But I know that's where these guys can get cheap. I don't see anyone getting cheap. But it's loud music. And these people have no cars. If you have people that vote, they're out at 12 or 1 o'clock. It's shaking our homes and vibrating our homes. We're taxpayers. We go to work, and it's like a wall in the middle. And it's like all the neighbors call it. But unlike maybe they'll start giving the tickets or whatever, because the music is over the desk. If I can't hear my TV in my house, because the music is just that clear and shaking my house and the TV humming on the wall, it's a problem. And I hate that when we call, it's like you guys, y'all come, you go up there, you talk to them, so you go, they turn it up. I went up there and talked to them and say, hey, can y'all just keep it at a volume? You don't have to have it low, but to the point where we can hear ourselves in our own homes. When I get home from work, and it's going on 11:30 and 12 at midnight, and that's all I hear, boom, boom, boom. No, this is on Main Street. I stay in a home on Union. This is behind me on next to the liquor store. That whole area, the liquor store, the plaza, the tire shop, the fish market, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, it's like an outdoor club. I think y'all was out there Sunday, they had a block. And they're out there, and once they stand out there for 4 or 5 hours, there's nothing on them. So they got to use the bathroom, they come in the yard, and they got to use the bathroom. So now we can come a bathroom.
So to answer your first question, the ordinance, it's a little ambiguous, but basically what it says is that before 10 o'clock at night, an officer would get required a complaint. The law requires, you would have to be a victim, give a statement, and then we would have to stand where you stand in your home and feel what you're describing.
And that,
So as long as we can experience what you're experiencing, like the vibration, the thought, whatever it might be, we can then go ahead and and articulate the complaint, you go ahead and file a complaint, issue citation. So, after 10 o'clock, that requirement is lifted, and the officer can then become a complainant. And he or she has to stand 100 feet from the source of the music, and without a meter, just has to be able to articulate in all words how you describe it being too loud, whether it's I can make out the lyrics from 200 feet away, or it's so loud that it's shaking the stop sign, whatever they need. But if they can take a measurement with the desk meeting and blow and enforce that way. So we're required.
Videos, they have came in my house.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. We don't know what it is.
It's enforceable, however, it's, usually you start off with a warning and come back. They're issued a warning until they basically change the line. If you were to come back the following day and it's still happening, you continue on to the citation and so forth.
Cause I don't think we call the description of the car. It's playing the music.
Also, if it's a vehicle, it's open source. For instance, on a vehicle, it's 50 feet is the distance that an officer can plow clearly and if it's loud enough, you can clearly operate within 50 feet, we can issue a citation for a vehicle. Where it gets tricky is like when you're in a vacant lot, it's not owned by anybody on that property, you're playing music. Usually we'll ask them to turn it down and obviously vacate the lot if it's not someone going beyond that. But as far as like issuing a motor vehicle ticket, it's parking guy without reading sign moving, it's not part of the motor vehicle statute. But we can still address it. That makes sense. So just kind of each scenario is a little different. The block orders and stuff, we rely on you guys to let us know about that stuff because sometimes you don't want to do options at a time. They might be stuck on the call for 2 hours. If you notify us and we're aware, we can come out because sometimes they play games, right? They'll something down until you leave and you get the tent back up and you show up again and it's off. So it's cat and mouse and it's certainly affects you guys and get rest and so forth. Any way you guys can help us contribute to, whether it's just specific details about who's playing the music, which guy is, the color kids and any of that stuff.
That's what we do, but it's noisy. I think I have to fix it. I got a map that I can tell you everything that I know. What time I called you guys, how many times I called you
I'll
guys,
share my email with you.
videos, everything.
I want you to. Device. It's like my perspective. Our officers are out here every day, not necessarily all in your neighborhood, but throughout the city in this district. There's definitely not cops sitting around, you won't be involved. There's just so many little things. It's not always the big stuff we talk about, but it's the minor, relatively minor stuff that we have to invest in. And sometimes we overwhelm, but not exclusive. You guys have to be the service which is great.
What's the difference between the team take on? And when the teams take over downtown, and they put out everything and stop the team, what's the difference from that and the adults? The adults take over. The block party take it over and just, you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes they start shooting. I go over them fence. I'm like, hey, they serious about the team take over. What about the dog take?
Hey, Catherine, so we just shared this feedback, I think for the past year and a half, similar feedback that she's sharing on Main Street. And I think we should just get her email and so she can share so we can post it down. We are, yeah, because I live on Union, owned by the library. So, and the fact that we're acquiring the liquor store, that should help, reduce some of the crowd on Main Street. So we're trying to do something, but again, if you can work with her to hey, what can we do to be good, but proactive. That's awesome.
Yeah, so.
Okay, let's move on. Mrs. Marusa and then Mr. Mohammed.
Yes, well, first of all, thank you, Catherine. This is very thorough and helpful. I was wondering, is there a way to separate out the issues that are residential or business?
Yeah, absolutely, that can be done.
Okay, I would appreciate that. This way we can tell who are the individuals and who are the businesses that are being affected. I represent the West End Chamber, so we're certainly concerned about the individuals, but want to know what our businesses are experiencing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Ms. Moore?
Thank you. I just had a question about the little icons, the different colors. What do they stand for? Because. And the numbers, I think I understand, are the number of cases or infractions that you.
So, yeah, and
But the
unfortunately,
other thing is what are they-
I don't have the, I don't have the code for it. This is the path that they're, trying to walk the points together. I do know that the little shopping cart that you see is gonna be able to, that, and try, what you get. But as far as some of these other ones, I can match them up with the list and see what I can figure out is which. It's a little blurry, it looks like the blue is maybe in, again, I don't have the icon really.
But I mean, we can't access to this, so.
Yeah, you should really have, I mean,
You have to link at this, right, look at it before we might bring up years ago, we just look at this. You have to have a link, what is this?
I don't like to go take a look on that, go on the lease. There's a breakdown, it'll say like, report by grade.
Report by grade.
Activity,
Right,
you can actually drill down.
and if it starts showing these things,
Start populating. Yes.
it'll populate the place. And then we have a specific grids for over there in the West End.
Yes. So with that map,
Right, and then also we can get that list that you got, so specific location and incident the Excel factor for that is set for that.
correct.
And I have that too.
I can do this, yeah.
Okay, but understand it, so please want to do your own research, which I've done, I used to do it. You know, and, okay, anyone else so advised? Fellows, ladies, Mrs. Jones?
Yeah. I have an issue that a resident, and watch maybe, that's not that it was a COVID point, so I had an email with the problem.
Sure.
All right, now, you know, how you get that, you don't leave it with them, you can say it now.
Yeah, well, I'll go ahead, unless you guys want to give me, I can email to you every morning. You can send me.
So they got it, and I don't want to be.
Just give it to them.
Okay. It's my email is David, D-A-V-I-D. Dot Michelson. So MICHELSO. That's at Tampa .net. Your other captain is Andrea Hughes, Andrea, A-N-D-R-E-A, Hughes, H-U-G-H-U-S. Same format, the email, just put a dot in between.
And you got a phone number? That you want to get that?
Yep.
You don't get out that kind of stuff, but if people just.
Sure, it's 813-997-7663. 813-997-7663.
That's Captain, David.
Yep, you text that, you might call it either way. And, it's anything you see that.
Let's see, Roland, and yes, you know, already works, and
He's still this, yeah, he's just responsible for the lieutenant's responsible for the entire district. So he flows into an A and so everything that can be done and do.
And we'll consider
A is north of Kennedy, Kennedy's the divider, so south of Kennedy would be D, and north of Kennedy would be, and north of Kennedy would be A. Again, it's not like you guys called me about something that happened in second day, I wouldn't, with very small. You know, we really small down.
Any other questions over there? If not, thank you for that, okay?
Thank you.
Right,
And then whoever, man, I know we had a specific question about the beginning. About stuff, if you want to just email me directly, with your sort of concern. You can go through there. And if you would, if you CC, Captain Hughes as well, if Andrew got Hughes. That would be helpful. just because this is her area, so. A lot of times when I deal with complaints, when I get calls, I'll ask for the zoning units to come out and then we kind of meet you guys. So if there's a particular area where you live, where I have the zoning unit actually come out, so make sure that you get to kind of put a face with a name and interact with that store yourself. A lot of times like before you go, you'll have a lot of progress with that, a lot of success, because you know the guy by name. And if he shows up, you can say, hey, Dave, this is the same thing we talked about last week, whatever. I'm certainly happy to talk to him, but a lot of times we're 2 or 3 steps to see things from the call. So I want to make sure that I'm here to make sure that officer helps you. But if you can do your quote and just start building a little bit of relationship with the guys that built the zone that you live in, it seems to be the most effective way to kind of get this. There's got to be. Is it?
All right. I know. All right.
Thank you.
And you know about your question about the.
I ain't going back down that person will be solving. Now I solve them for you.
Yeah.
All right. Move on.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Okay.
thank you. Okay, CRA staff reports, manager report, equipment floor.
Okay.
We have a strategic property acquisition opportunity and an action item. People, so we need to listen and then we need to make a decision.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. So if you move in your packet, there's some pictures of a property that is actually not far from Main Street, actually a block north, it's 1713 North Albany. And I'm bringing this to your attention because there was a sign placed on this property for lease, for sale, what have you. And the real estate department and this property owner have had a conversation, and that this property is actually for sale, not necessarily for lease. And I'm bringing it to your all's attention because it is just north. It is adjacent to the liquor store. It's an office building right now. It was also originally going to be the home for the Lucky Tiger. Remember that, which restaurant, which ended up moving to Howard. So it is available. And before I move forward or have real estate enter into, do an appraiser and have a conversation to try to come up with a purchase price for this and negotiate something with the owner, I want y'all to give me a green light and say, do you want to do this? Or, it is a great opportunity because we could actually have that whole block from Main Street to Union, and then of course Albany to this lady's property almost. And you're behind the restaurant, correct? So I just want to bring it to the CAC. I always want to keep you on the loop and be very transparent about anything that, real estate's working on, but this just came about and they do know that we're buying the liquor store, or pursuing to buy the liquor store. So the next step would be real estate would call for an appraisal of the property. And then they would get that information back and then they would start negotiating. And normally what would be ideal is if y'all could give a motion, say you can negotiate up to the appraised value. Okay. We don't know what that is, but I will bring it back to you for another decision point. But because we're going into a summer break, you know how real estate is, I wanted to move on this because it's an opportunity.
Okay, is there any discussion on this?
Can I?
No, we got our meeting, so. So go ahead, y'all had, go ahead, make the motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we ask the real estate department to proceed in negotiations to purchase 1713 North Albany Avenue up to the appraisal.
Is there a second? All right, there's a motion by Mr. Wilson, second by Mr. Jones. Is there any discussion? Yes, Ms. Maloney.
I just like to bring up, the building looks like it's in pretty good shape. And the building looks like it's in good shape. So it's not a candidate for slum and blight remediation under our mission, our charter. The other thing is that it doesn't have any historic, I don't know that it doesn't appear to have any historic value to our community. So historic preservation would not be a reason to acquire the property. I'm just wondering what you think we should, why should we acquire this property? I know it's
We should acquire this property. The reason we should acquire this property, any property we can acquire that we can, especially in the commercial district, is because that we can control the best of that property. For example, across the street, we got the Blue House that was right directly across the street from this. We're acquiring that Blue House property. But the house is there now, the demand on that, the land is going away. This property is very strategic because it's right adjacent to the liquor store that we're actively negotiating. We need a
It's
parking.
across the alley though, right? It's not directly contiguous. There's an alley in
Yeah,
this
it's an alley.
property and the liquor store. So that alley would have to be vacated in order
The alley
to.
won't have to be vacated.
Not necessarily.
Thing called walk over bridges and all of that. That's not it. But this is strategic because if we had a parking garage, then we knock the liquor store down, we want a parking garage. We can have a walk over thing across that alley, have a parking garage right there in the main core, and then we have retail at the first level of the parking garage, and on and on and on. But until we own it, we just talk. So the key is, it's not something, here's the rule of thumb about the real estate acquisition, is that anytime we acquire that property, we have to have meetings with the public to ask what do they want. Now, we try to say, well, we're gonna do it for how, no, we don't know what we're gonna do. But we know that we have to acquire property. Why? Because you just heard the lady say that this here now is being used parking and accumulation for all of that. People up there meeting on the weekend. That's what this is going on right there now. And if we got it, we might put a fence around it and keep you off of it until such time you know what to do with it, including the bar, the liquor store.
I like that.
You get-
Garage idea, that's a
And
good.
why not just throwing out this idea?
I mean,
But
that's
I'm
a good
saying,
idea though. I mean,
because we've been around now since 2015, and we have not really aggressively started procuring acquisitions for probably the last 3 to 5 years. Okay, and so now we're becoming aggressively because if we had the funds, and Mr. Vice Chair, who's been the chair back for me, Mr. Kelly, if we had been able to purchase what we could purchase, when we could purchase it and had done so, we would have a great opportunity now, 10 years later, 11 years later, to really make an impact on our commercial core, and we wouldn't have paid as much for it. So anytime you can get real estate like this, that's a commercial front, and it makes sense and it's available. Because remember, we have got a willing and won't sell them. And there's people there, when they're willing won't sell it 10, 15 years, I actually go down for fish on Saturdays. Okay, and have this and fish that we're going through all this in. Okay, so that's the reason I'm supporting, would be supporting, is that we need to acquire much of the commercial on our Main Street. I would love to acquire the tiny shop, the church over there, and that whole strip on the other side and just get this over with. If you go to sleep at night and we can have festivals and everybody that was have a chamber, and we could ever get all of that. And the fish fry is great, but everything else over there need to be bought.
Yes.
Now let me be quiet. Okay, now get out the door. They want to throw the clothes on me, man. So okay, so all right, now was it that? Okay, that was it, Ms. Maloney?
Yeah, thank you. I'm kind of a private enterprise oriented person when it comes to real estate acquisition.
Well, what I was.
But I having, the idea that it could be put to that kind of use, I think.
Yeah, it's a bad use. Now, what I would ask you to do, start looking down there when you keep talking about you and see what might be the book. Now, let me just tell you why.
Done that.
And Ms. Brennan could tell you, Ms. Flora could tell you, I was amazed. That's flabbergasted. But I seen what the channel side district paid for a park. And one bigger than.
It's room.
Okay, I don't know if y'all remember that. And they improved it. It was like, you got for that little post, they paid, y'all know what the number said, no, it's So I'm just saying, we need to get something going. I suppose, and, hold on, I'll come back to that, but I had these 2 ladies over here. Mrs. Jones, Mrs. Williams, and then Mrs. Jones, and then Mrs. Ben.
Thank you. What I just wanted to say in response to your question is that
You don't like?
I only just doing this question one is that it gives the residents, the stakeholders, the businesses here a greater voice. Because in an area like this, it's undergoing redevelopment or gentrification, depending on how you see it. So many voices are not heard, but by obtaining this property and all of the other properties that you have, it gives us a greater voice. You know, and it helps to maintain whatever type of environment or communities. It reinforces our vision, whatever that vision may be for the future. And I think that's better and more important than to be quite honest with you. So I think it's a good thing.
Mrs. Jones, and then Mrs. Ben.
She said it so well. I'd like to do, so food afternoon. For people in the community to put have some remembrance of some things that you deserve. And just like I said, the old folks used to meet up there. We have those memories. We have those.
I'm good with
And we
it.
want something.
Every said, I'm
I
good
want to
now,
see something.
hoping to go get some fishing grades. All right, anything else, Jones? Mrs. Ben.
I was just gonna piggyback that, to reassure you, is that the idea of us acquiring it isn't that we're gonna hold it in perpetuity, it's that then we eventually put out an RFP for private development,
Right.
but we can say what goes there. If somebody decides I'm gonna buy there and put a bar there, no, we don't want that, but if we own it and we put the RFP out, we can specify, here's, you can develop it, but you gotta do A, B, C, here are the uses. So that's the benefit of owning. Is that you can control the future.
Anyone else? If not, all in favor, say aye. All opposed, nay. Motion passed unanimously. Moving right along to the next item on the agenda, we're getting started here.
Okay,
Vacation time, budget, team reports,
I just have something under me, actually, real quick. Y'all know you've worked so hard on Ray Park, right? So hard, and we are ready to break the ground on Ray Park. So there's an opportunity next Wednesday, a week from tomorrow at 10:30 in the morning to do a groundbreaking. It's not gonna be at Ray Park. 6:20. We are breaking ground and what?
It's gonna actually happen.
Yes, we are breaking the ground, and there's 2 purposes of this. If we don't do it now, we can't do it till July, and the contractor's ready to go. Number 2, we need to get an announcement out publicly about the park closing. It is closed, the building's closed, but the park is still being utilized. So it's another opportunity to just kind of say, hey, guys, we're closing down, new building's coming, and, so.
No, yeah, and they want to know, they bugging me that way with that. It's been suitable.
I know, there's basketball playing and there's some park activity. But they're just waiting on signatures downtown from the mayor's office and whoever on the permit, but we're ready to go. So I have a flyer. It's not finished. It'll be finished probably first thing tomorrow morning. I'll get it out to y'all. And then if y'all can just share it with your community, it is hot. Okay. We know it's hot. So it's 10:30 in the morning. So it's not going to be a long ceremony, but your chair will be there. He's going to hopefully say a few short words because it's hot. So.
The time will be passed real soon.
All right, so that's going on. And I just want to give a thank you to your chair who went down to CRA board last week and did a fantastic presentation telling them everything that's going on in 5 minutes in West Tampa. Just a lot of enthusiasm. I think you were the highlight of the whole meeting and it went on all day. So thank you. Yes.
I read that about the overlay modifications and what y'all been negotiating with developers, particularly for land now. I said, this is a big step. It's got to be expedited. I know nothing is perfect, But that had to be expedited. It had to be turned into, they had no idea. When they got that, they said, oh man, we've been working on it. And then we smoked out. They said they got additional funding. But
Yeah.
well, I didn't know what that.
So we learned something.
City money, we money that.
So West Tampa, we all doing the study and putting attention on alleys. Well, it created a whole conversation at a city council meeting where
Right.
they directed mobility to come back in September with a plan to do all the alleys, like outside of the CRA. So it's broader than just just the CRA area. So I thought that was very good news.
And when I-
We didn't
I
know.
want to get it told, I don't-
I believe that's based, so the
Yeah.
first phase would be West Tampa,
Mhm.
because we already have the study.
Right.
Yeah, I want to thank you and take the slash and Mr. Sanchez, and y'all would have the alley, when Bobby was around, you said. So you got your lights.
The alley cheerleaders.
Lights, you got lights, okay?
Here at the CAC, we updated the West Tampa overlay. That created a conversation with developers and builders, Jim Franklin. So that led to a lot of back and forth, and we started getting in touch with city council to try to get movement and clarity on what do we mean and how can we accomplish that? Because there was a lot of work being, done on our part and on the builder's part. We were just all spitting our leads. So we got together and we wanted clarity, and we were almost there with the study here in West Tampa. So we just kind of wanted to give it that last push. So we know exactly which alleys can be built, which ones can't, and save ourselves a lot of time and presenting in part of city council.
And here's the other part. Yeah, right, that I did tell them, I was playing with you tonight. I went out and I did some homes around to get a nail in the tab. My tab, right in the tab, that's the nail for the golf. And I went down and looked at some stuff that the bank was doing, the slugs were doing, what was happening, so. I went right down and it was stupid. As it bad construction. So I thought about it. We talk about these alleys. We want our alleys to be up the park. And if I'm a developer and I'm building like 2 or 3 houses in the middle of the alley, I got to go from that side street all the way to the middle with the improvement alley. I think that's patently unfair when we're the ones that want the alleys to be accessible. So what I told city council, I'm bringing up the night, but we don't vacate. I'm trying to get the vacation. They're trying to, I got many dollars at that sports card with all this Kanye, with all this nonsense, throwing them in the book. So I got to take a break. I got to disappear for a minute. I like to run from that. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is when we come back in August, I'm gonna put forward that we look with staff to try to create a alley fund. Some offset what the developers have to do with improvement alley when they are mandated to have real alleys. So that way, maybe if we got 3 or 4 developers doing one particular each side of that alley, let's get that whole alley done up the street and be done with it. Period. And have some money. And I told them we need to start like $1 million fund to at least, because as you get down, it's gonna be grass, it's gonna be that. But we need to put our money where our mouth is, and we really want alleys to be in. Remember that we're blessed that we don't sunset, or we don't stop for 2043. Okay, the CRA collect their money. So we got a longer time than other CRAs to draw money to do so. So I was going to
make that motion now.
Huh?
Do you make that motion now? Or like Mercer's waiting to August, so that gives us.
I think,
I'm coming from this school of thought. If anybody here wanna make a motion, you make a motion, and I'm the chair. All I do is order to go through the motion. So I wanna make a motion.
so this is where we're at. So the budget, we have money in neighborhood improvements to do that.
Ms. Rowe, stop. Do you wanna make a motion, Mr. Bottom, please make the motion.
I would like to make a motion that we accelerate the alley improvement project and that's trying you guys to accelerate that program where if a developer is like doing something midway that we come along and make sure that the entire alley is complete.
Is there a second?
Second discussion,
Okay, discussion, Mrs.
I'm all in favor of the motion, but I wanted to also include in future maintenance funds, not just,
I concur with that.
not just, current improvements.
Well,
We have-
the maintenance part, I don't know if we have.
We have to check with the attorney on that one.
Yeah, we could make a request and attorney to tell us no on that part. You get what I'm saying? But y'all was asking what's wrong and the attorney, straightens back out because, we have to clean and all that, but that's not supposed to be permanent. It's supposed to be temporary. But, you're on the right track.
Yes, because it's, we want to improve the alleys, but they gotta be maintained alleys.
We need to put, money where our mouth is. We talk about the alleys.
And okay, what's this, okay, how much money we talking?
Initially.
I think what I would do, mobility's got to come back with some costs in September, so we'll have something, so we'll have a little better idea.
All we're doing is doing a place, so.
But I mean,
What do we have as well?
well, I don't have the budget in front of me, but we have like $2 million in neighborhood.
And you always like,
Well, we don't have that right now, but we could budget over, you could actually every year, you can budget every year, yeah.
After we get through paying for the West River, it's done, our next case coming up.
Okay.
Then we'll have some more.
There you go.
Available money coming in, we gotta get the last head of one
Yeah,
payment.
3.4 million.
On one more payment on Riverwalk, then we will have some money in the meantime.
I'm thinking like in totality, so like I'm okay with that. One
Is a place.
1 million is a place for kids.
All right, so we could state the motion again. For clarity. No, I want to get the motion straight so we can discuss the motion. So what's the motion now?
That we accelerate the alley, redevelopment by setting $1 million aside to, resurface the eggs.
To offset the cost.
To offset the cost.
And Mr. Stratton, you good with that? Second, right now, Mr. Jones.
Okay, when you say offset, that means you're sharing.
With the developer, yeah, because we're trying to encourage it to happen. So you know what I'm saying? Because we'll get more bang for our buck, and we'll come up with how to do that, but we need to at least say that we want to get this moved. Okay, because otherwise we'll be there another 5 years and ain't nothing to happen. Mr. Felton, done? Okay, Ms. Williams, and then Mr. Williams.
So when it comes to infill development, who is responsible for the alley? Does the developer have to?
Yeah, if the developer puts a house, that's the way it reads now, hopefully, they shall have, rear alley access, not front. The garage that go in the back. This is what's going on, unless you can't get it in the alley back. So then that's the issue. The code says shall and practicality say it can't happen, and they have an issue trying to find it.
To help me to understand why, it sounds like you're paying for somebody else's.
No, the owner never owns the alley, it's always right, unless it's been vacated. And if it's vacated, it's probably not gonna be.
They're supposed to maintain it, like keep it clean.
Right. It's an alley, it ain't vacated, but it ain't happened, okay? So alleys are right away, just right in front of your house is right away, and every person that abuts a right away is responsible for maintaining it, not the city. What we're doing with our program is that we are cleaning up that. Because we know that the residents and we know that the people adjacent to these alleys don't take care of it. So what we did, we went in and got all the junk out. We went and cut a lot of trees out. And if you ride down and look at the alley, it makes you see down. Because I do it every day. I look left and right to see what it looks like. And you'll see that we're maintaining. But that ain't our job. That ain't gonna happen forever. Because we ain't gonna be running forever. Maybe we might. But that was the way to get everybody to jump start. Because you got some people that are retirees and is that it?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that we're not paying somebody else's bill.
No, we're not gonna do it. We're trying to get an alley surface that's gonna be, a surface that can be usable. And it's gonna be a case by case basis. It's not gonna be just, they'll have to work out some type of policy program. We're not there, but we wanna we want to be ahead of the curve because we know the city of Tampa, the city council is very much interested in this data. And we want some investors that, hey, we wish it. So when they do get ready to do something, guess who they're gonna tell about, let's go open the first. And Mr. Maria said, if you're gonna about what's happening, you get all the data done there and even, Mr. Ramirez.
I just want us to be smart with how we spend our money. Right now, we have to pay the whole alley in order to get it to go. One of the asks of the ability is to come up with alternative methods.
Yeah, I mean, we just to talk about, this is just the day we're just setting up a fund, but as far as how you're gonna get it, what it could be used for, that to develop it. That's all down the road, but mobility is gonna have to have a lot of.
So then the motion was setting fund apart, not advancing the program.
Well, you can only advance the program if you got specifics on how to do it.
That's what we're reading.
Exactly, so until they get that, we got a motion, we're waiting for them to get that. And when they get that, then we'll elevate that, but we'll already have placeholder, because we're the budget time on coming in April next year, so we're, and we're gonna drop that, continue to drop that continuous refund plastic fee until they can get it. And that's gonna generate some additional fund, and, we probably might still a little bump, because even if they put this vote by all the taxes on it, we still will have to assess that.
I've told everyone this, that I'm for the CRA helping to improve the alleyways.
Did I hear that? Say that again?
I am for the CRA helping to improve the alleyways.
And you feel good about it.
But, I just want to make sure we're not ready to start.
Well, no, we're not, but we want to stay ahead of it, we're good. Any more discussions?
I just have a question.
Yeah.
Point of information, so these alleys, like, say a developer buys a lot and builds a new, tears down whatever's there, builds a new house. The developer then is responsible for improving the alley adjacent to that new build.
Yeah.
They're responsible for improving from that middle block all the way to the street.
To the side street.
All the way.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that's why we're trying to do what we're doing, okay, that's a big bird.
okay, yeah. But it doesn't, but if, say, someone buys a house and remodels it, doesn't tear it down, are there
So
different
what it tells you
requirements?
is, by corner lots.
I think the overlay is for new builds and major renovations.
Major, meaning by, how's that defined?
Over 50% of the price of the
Over 50, okay.
so 50% threshold, they put same thing they do, so.
I think.
Yeah. All right, all in favor, side? All opposed, nay? Motion passed, right, Mr. Representative, back to you. Does anybody have any questions on any of
I think we're
these
good.
items on the manager's report? If not, I'm gonna move to old business.
I have a question in regards to number 5.
Number 5,
This is like for the street grid, on Fremont Avenue. I see where the council passed a resolution and the issuance
Yes.
of notice to proceed. My question, should we now start engaging our,
They are, well,
I mean, like, as far as like design? Like doing
you're
RFP?
talking about the street
It's actually
reestablishment, the
Yeah,
Fremont,
it's like
they're gonna be
45.
coming, they're supposed to come today, they weren't ready. They have a contractor, Osprey, on board, who's doing the design. Parks is involved with it, because they're talking about the park too. So we will have them come, it looks like around August, they'll be coming to our next meeting. So, yeah, but we have, it's moving,
I just
right?
wanted to
Thank you.
thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
anything
Okay.
else, Mr. Wilson? Anyone, Mr. Stanton?
Well, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but it's repeated anyway. Can
Put
we
your mic on so that you can.
It's on. Can you please change the name of the Main Street
Main
portion study to the Main Street Streetscape and Beautification?
What item number is that, Mr. Stanton?
Number 7.
Number 7.
We're very
Yeah,
specific.
you already said that once before.
I've said it several times.
I will ask Ms.
And you call
Martinez
it
to
the
do
Main
that.
Street, what?
Streetscape and Beautification Master Plan.
Main Street, streetscape. Right,
And
thank you.
beautification master,
And beautification master plan.
yes, thank you.
That's a nice way to do it. Okay, anything else, Mr. Chairman?
No, that's all.
Okay, anyone else? Before we move on to okay. Is there any old business? Mr. Chairman?
Just a quick, and I apologize, I left early at the last meeting and perhaps you announced it, but I would like to, for this group to be informed when you're going in advance, when you're going to report to CRA. And it may have been reported at the last meeting I left early.
If you see all that,
When you make your.
well, I didn't even know, they told me that,
Yeah.
wouldn't tell me.
I can let you know. Yeah, it's on a rotating schedule. I think you're about once a year.
And if I'm gonna really cut like the other one, just go
Yeah.
across the street. Everybody saying, well, hey, how you over there at, Wrong God, we don't know any back.
No,
That's what I'm just saying.
when you're making,
Whenever-
I mean, you're not gonna go back for another, 6 months or whatever.
Yeah, it'll be-
advanced when you're gonna.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm saying beyond that, when the chair, vice chair go anywhere and ask to say something, they should know. Because when I went over here, all the wrong God is not a CRA project. That was the issue. And there's an issue with communications at the city. The CRA didn't, and the city didn't, and other business. There's a disconnect. I get taken. That I'm trying to connect. And so I was well perturbed and saying, well, little people that. Again, I don't want to shirts. I'm looking around and over there with me at the big tree top and the man there, they had the camera rolling and video and things like that. And they got me up there talking, they're my grandfather there. He out here. So I just sucked up that. Let's see out. Like I say, hey, I'm just there, please raise your hand and don't get nobody's at the back up. So the first one about this. But anyway, and in fact, you're 10 in the morning, someplace back and you're 10 in the morning, so okay, you can work it, you can't just rest and go to church. Okay, is anything else?
No, no,
Okay, anyone else on old business, like Mr. Bobby Wilson?
Whole
Old business?
business, like, again, like the lighting under the interstate, any update from mobility or like.
What I didn't know, man.
No business.
Okay,
No, I've asked Corey Robinson to look into that as well, because he was working on that, but no, I'm sorry, I don't have an update on that. Okay. I'll put it down again.
All the long way in.
that's beautification.
It's beautification. and
That's the safety issue.
Yeah,
Because I know they put the test right here on well, they can put the yellow tack in it. Then they put the white tack in it, and they're gonna ask us, and it just that once my friend that was on FDOT, which is 7 retired. So we got the signs up saying, oh, from Pittsburgh, West Campbell. When he retired, it's like that. So we got to reestablish, and I've seen him at city council, the new guy. Okay, the new FDOT yourself. I just haven't had to get my brother, I haven't had time to start to establish a relationship with him. So when we make these kind of statements, like for example, I was having problems with them trimming the lawn, and it was going crazy. We got our man over there, farm got a natural cut. They started trimming the trees over there by the Central Farm by interstate, and they're maintaining it ever since. So it's a relationship thing. But I think that my vice chair, he deal with that daily with that. So, so I just gotta get the people down and probably maybe ask them to come to one of the meetings and introduce themselves.
That would be great.
But that's not, because we're gonna start getting more of these transportation things. And one of those is that under the interstate lighting, we cross these bridges, we doing and stuff like that, especially the interstate.
especially as we get more walkability, where you.
Yeah, when we get wrong and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Yeah, we-
Mrs. Jones, then I'm going. Yeah.
So you said you're gonna request for.
I'm gonna try to be perfect, bro, can you find out, we can get some business done, man, on that.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, but
Okay, it's really busy, but we need to know, it's telling me about 10 minutes. Put
put
them
them at the top of the agenda, right?
Well, I know he really is busy, but just, I know things go, but you know, we need to see it because we have
Okay.
transportation, the interstate come through our neighborhood.
I'll reach out.
bisect us,
Yeah.
And we need to show connectivity, you know, do all kind of work, connectivity, mobility, unity. Right, I'm doing numbers, I'm mechanical, I'm learning. Anything that's good, we have this, the zones. Yes.
Are they doing anything with the property right there at 90, that going with 90 on the book? And they said they're gonna put the hotel and they just.
But I'm saying, well, and wrong, between Woodland and wrong on South, and then up to the state. Yeah, it would be good for two hotels, that's the house, but.
You said, I tried, so, and I just know that they.
No,
Wow.
Well, if Davis was here and not absent, he could give us an update, because that's the he could be in charge of the real estate development and whatever's going on, so maybe when David comes in office, you write that down and ask him, well, what the way and how we can go it with him. Because they're supposed to be dealing with that, and they're moving fast, so they're gonna be right now, if you look at your window, Justin Stewart going up as I speak. And the next thing you see across from Judge Stewart, you're gonna see that NFL obstacle course going on. For the children to be able to act like they in the NFL running against a light that moves at 47 days. You know, that one of those hours like that, I'm done. So that's that. So we got a lot going on. There's another tower to be going. So they're about almost built out there. They're almost, there's lots of homes. And you'll see here, some people have bought up these towns, believe it or not, they're paying $500,000. More. 500,000 busted, Mr. Castellano. That's his daughter's son, and daughter said, first thing that, you say, I said, man, you want to speak on the main street now, you know, he asked me, what's the same for? I said, well, $500,000, I'm quite sure say, okay, that's my answer, I'm not talking to the folks, man, but these young folks are fine. So imagine when they do the wrong job, the government will be gone in a minute. So that, I think, right there, I know that there was some sort of that time. Okay, anything else? If not, Mrs. Malone, this new old business.
Yeah, old business. Well, I just wanted to ask if there had been, I want to ask Mrs. Crowder, if there had been any, I haven't gotten a response from Mr. McCray about my question that I emailed to you.
Yes, yeah.
About the need for an RFP for the property to sell, what is the address on Albany? That would, to become domain homes.
Oh, Albany and Spruce?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was left in the director's report. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but it hasn't gotten back.
Okay,
So I
I'll
just
follow up with them. Okay.
What was that? I'm trying to understand. What was it?
Well, she made it.
I inquired as to whether or not property that's owned by the CRA, if it is sold to a private party, needs to be subject to an RFP. If it has to be published in advance and bid upon by, by whomever's in.
Oh, I see, yeah, it just can't be.
They can't just go to somebody.
Yeah, well, they can be.
Yeah, back in the
Yes.
day, back in the day, they used to deal with house. Okay, then the corruption thing went down. Then they started saying, we're gonna put an RFP out for buildable lots. And you could bid on getting those lots to build affordable housing. So things have changed, the evolutionary.
So that is true.
Yes.
If there was an RFP.
Yes.
No, there's no RFP because we don't own that property.
No, we didn't own.
I'm sorry, that was clear. So there's a little house next to it that we own. That would have to be RFP'd or go into the housing, but the actual property that the domain homes are going to are owned by Domain, not us.
Private. We don't own it.
But but the deal about the unit creation, that was agreement, okay, that was went through y'all and then to CRA board. You can still do that. You can do an agreement without doing an RFP. Yes, it really is appropriate that you dispose of and yeah.
On property, but CRA owns no problem. If you ever say, we buy it, but we don't. And
Well,
some type of city actually, but it goes to real estate, but we have some type of control by directing requests of utilization. So we don't. Okay.
Yeah,
And then some
that's true.
other problem to do. Any new business? If not, announcements? Okay, raise your hand. I'm ready to get out of here and get on the close.
I was wondering if, we could have some type of presentation on the agenda, at the, I guess, August meeting, regarding the revision to the land development code. I mean, there is a lot going on in terms of the revisions, and I don't know that we are all up to speed or even know what's going on. I know there was a workshop that coincided with.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
And I
unfortunate.
didn't get to go to either one of them.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, those land development code changes could have profound impacts. And I know I'm not well versed on, well, if you're not well versed on.
Mr. Harris. I need people when start talking about land development.
I don't know if
Like, you familiar with the changes of.
I don't know.
I mean, what's going on? Do you know?
Still,
Is the timeline too late already? I mean,
No, we are kind of going to compare. We're going to compare the old list review, at least with the West End, and kind of coming up with comments. And we talked with, Adam Keeling, and also with Eric Cotton. They wanted us to go ahead and make comments and give recommendations as to what to change for the West End. We still have a long process. It's not going to be approved piece by piece. It's going to be approved once all the pieces have been meeting.
So they're gonna go forward, so have it all together, effective.
Right, you can continue making comments.
Okay.
And there's going to be more public outreach.
when you say we, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about the multi-part. I'm not talking about this body.
Okay, but in other words,
Or
representing West Tampa to talk with them, like more High Park Alliance, because we have the greater West Tampa in terms of what is being proposed, because there's proposals, and
Yeah,
and how are those proposals impacting West Tampa?
I would recommend as a group, start looking through it and making comments.
But I mean, I think it would be good, because you're sophisticated. I think it would be good for us not to. I'm saying myself, not to draw on sophisticated, but the point is that.
Well, I would say you got more people that we could put in chamber.
Yeah. Well, but what I'm saying is for us to get some type of presentation
Well,
to
Let me
hear about the proposed
yeah, well,
changes,
okay.
and then we.
Then maybe we need to get land development to make a presentation. They made from the city county, to make something specific to us of what would really impact what, because the code for a whole city, but if there's something specific to West Tampa that they cover the whole city too, that's what we're interested.
That is really great because right now we're not land developers, we're not,
No.
we're not planners.
They tried to accuse me of the other day. but
Well, the citizens trying to make sense out of this code, you say, land development come in, this is represent the just the West Hampton overlay and say, this is how we're changing it, this is why we're changing it.
Okay, can we?
we can do, this is the only issue. This is not a CRA issue. It's a city council issue because they're the ones that approve the land development code. So it's not like you would make a recommendation to CRA board. It has to go to see it's falling under a different kind of code. But as information,
That's all, I'm just there.
yeah, I think that's fine.
It impact the CRA, even though it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, let's, I'll reach out to land development, whoever's on Eric Cotton.
We should just get them and see what they can do.
Yeah, let me just find out what.
What can they do to present, so we don't, so we can, know what's going on.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
from an informational standpoint, like, here's the feedback, like, here's what we're proposing, here's the feedback we received. So that we're all aware of what's happening.
Correct.
And then okay, then I can take this feedback to the West Tampa Neighborhood Association.
Correct, then they go down to city council.
That is a fact. This would be a funnel to hey, you want, here's what's been said, here are the changes going free. major change does speak up and like.
Okay.
Did anybody go to that workshop?
I just will tell y'all, I think there's 4 presentations already scheduled or planned that need to get before you in August, 3 or 4. So I don't know, it's a timing, I'll talk to the chair whenever the time would make more sense. Okay, if we can have flexibility in that.
Get like, had someone come to talk about taxes, cause you brought it up one time on here.
That's a property appraisal.
We'll find out about that next week.
This presentation.
I think now it's like citywide. I think they go again a couple of times.
So,
And now citywide.
What's this?
Like when they talk about homestead exemption, like educating people on homestead exemptions, the different things you can, whether you're elderly, blind, that. I think we did like, I was thinking like when.
You're saying
You did, yeah, we did it twice, when we did like.
So you brought someone to this body to talk about that?
Yeah, we worked with, Hernandez.
He's having a meeting tomorrow, if y'all are interested. The state of the market is tomorrow morning.
Big parts of it all.
Yeah.
Where they educated folks.
I can find out. I don't know what that is, but,
And I think the last time they made it more citywide, so it wasn't specifically West Main.
Right,
okay.
okay.
So I'll find out about when that's taking place and get that to y'all. Okay.
Do that.
Well, this is Bob Enriquez's office and he does this state of the market, which is tomorrow morning and it's free. Anybody can go. Starts at like 7:30 and it's at Cuban Club.
I was that, yes, that, no, so, but I'm just saying.
I know, but
Years ago, and they talk to like, you know.
okay.
Yeah, talk with B Park, see, looks like remember what we did, pre-COVID. I think we did it twice, right?
Huh?
We did it twice in West End,
What's that?
the homestead exemption seminar.
I think because, you know, Walter Smith was pushing that, you know, he had.
Yeah, we did, the last time we did it at,
Barksdale.
Boxdale, and then, okay. I don't know, I know the last time we did it was at Julie Lane.
There was one in Barksdale about, I used track of time, about 6 months ago.
So anyway, but if there is one in our area.
I'll let you know. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Think that. I know they can, like some dozens. Very important.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm concerned about the barbecue community presented. So us as a board, do you have anything that we can do when we have these properties that we're taking to? If you need to be bad, because you could have been not the investment person that they have on the
Well, we can't do anything with operations. It's a brand new building.
That's a thing, you know, but we purchased and
We can't go down, let's go next thing, so. Go next thing to sell that.
I'm gonna talk about for you. It's a building we just talked about, we're gonna country,
Right.
the station going, you're talking about putting retail on the bottom.
Right.
of the-
Then what you do, this conversation, but.
So that's the next one. If I had the money, I would.
That's. But for ourselves,
Cause I don't take it lightly that they've been here for 50 years and now.
well, one thing I know about fitness. The American tell I've been fitting 36 years. If you don't adapt, if you don't plan for succession, you will not be in business on your.
That's what I'm talking about, when you have to do things for everything. Is that our purpose? Part of it, or you just put on the field distance go, and you don't go to that.
I don't know, because that's an issue, I don't know if we can do that, but that's something we.
What's on
That have businesses, because remember when COVID hit, now we're going around rapid down, but I don't think it dropped $5,000 and stuff like that in businesses for COVID. but I don't know.
The businesses, well, we have the commercial grants that could help the businesses. Those are the commercial grants.
Right, but that's what.
Yeah.
That's not.
It's for improvements, yeah. Mm-mm.
What is the reason?
Yeah, what is,
Well, what I heard is, they wanted businesses, that they was strong. You know, like, so you can, people, like a private.
But who was they?
Well, I'm telling you what I heard.
Right,
I'm not gonna say somebody individual name, but that's what they told me. So I'm not just gonna say.
Well, it must be the owner of the building. It's they, the owner of the building, said we don't have anybody open and selling the thing. And they classified all the business.
That's what I heard.
Right, but it may be,
Saying what I heard, I haven't actually.
but we don't have control over that.
For instance,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's a possibility, like one of the things, like with small businesses, like, you know, like doing job training or like individuals, is there things that we can do for help small businesses to make sure that they're running their business in a most efficient manner?
Absolutely. The Hillsborough County Small Business Information Center has tons of free programs for small businesses, scores there. It's a one-stop shop. It's right, it is in Ybor. It's not far, but it's the Entrepreneur Collaborative Center. And that's their mission, is to help them do business plans, help them find funding, help them do,
Last thing, and one of the last things we did, like, that we work with small businesses to like, hey, teach them like, you know, how to raise capital,
Mhm.
marketing, like that, moving in more a digital environment, how do they think about digital, you
How to market.
market, like
Mhm.
having less digital capabilities, and also succession planning, you know, like, okay, it's basically, you know, it's a mom and pop operation, like how you plan to
It's
succeed.
just blows my mind that you have millions of dollars that you can put towards.
Yeah, and I think that's a program
Something
potentially.
sustain a business that's going to 50 years.
Are they looking for a new location? Do you know, or are they closing?
Just basically saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have business, and they got business standing. Right now, we have that, what we have is other nonprofits, other people that do that, like small business,
Mhm.
a CRA.
As a CRA, can we do that, or just like?
We can build space. Remember, it's capital. We could build things and create spaces.
Here, there's a new restaurant here that got $75,000 interior commercial grant right there.
Mhm.
And they trying to open up shake, give permission on it, but right there on the corner, Rome and Main on the east corner, that building. That house building, there's so be a restaurant. She just, and she got commercial grant.
Put on the vision.
Like,
No, and CRA, commercial grant.
If CRA owns it, we can build it. We cannot give money to someone to build new construction. It's got to be a CRA initiated project. So, yeah.
You know, but exactly, so if I could do the shells thing, she would do the interior finish on stuff.
What's that, the Tiger King?
Or they're not reaching out. I mean, there seems like there's a lot of
Maybe.
things from basically needing to know about these things so they can go out and find success.
And I believe somebody from the chamber reached out to them. I just don't have the details of that.
Great. All right, anything else, so. If not, we go to announcements, the first announcement, that we got here is the golden picture. It's an application for banks review board. The 1917 West Kennedy Boulevard, increase allowable sign square footage from 19 square foot to 27 square foot. Oregon Associates Inc. is the agent's name. Then I got an application for design exception at 1936 West Cypress Street. Built to line reduction. Agent is Oreste and Fonte. Then I got an application, those application filed for rezoning at 2009 North Dominion Avenue and 2342 Walden Avenue current zone PD, proposed jump zone CG, navigate properties in many home zone. And then I got a second notice of Benny Calzone for the same 2009, so it's a bill notice they're saying. And then the last one I have is for 1706 and 1708 West Cash Street. Application for special use, parking lot as a personal use. And the applicant named 1702 West Cash Street, Tampa, so inside has been, then in the Tampa, so the eight. I mean, that's that. Okay, the next salary board meeting at downtown with the city is July 23rd, 2026 at 9 a.m. Our next meeting will be August 18th at 5:30 back at the Kilford Education Foundation with our new mics. Everybody have a safe summer. Vacation. I missed salary, see it. The one that, the next one is July 23rd, at 9 p.m. City Hall. And the next city meeting is August 18th. School will be back at 5:30 at the Education Foundation. And that said, I'll have a safe summer. Be safe. I look to see everybody back here in August the 18th at 5:30 p.m. at the Education Foundation. We made it. On to the next meeting adjourned.